All right, we're good, man. We're live.
Okay.
Your
So
event?
we have some people who've purchased our programs either online or when I've spoken at events. We have individuals who have received a complimentary ticket to our event who have not redeemed it yet. The people who purchased the program have a complimentary ticket they haven't redeemed. We have some people who have received complimentary tickets they haven't redeemed. We have phone numbers from people who have registered for webinars that I've hosted. They may or may not have shown up on the webinar. I think we know whether or not they've shown up on the webinar. And right now I have an internal person who's contacting these leads. Hey, Susan, I know you purchased David's program at, Revenue Breakthrough. And, I want to make sure that, you have access to the program. Have you started it? Or I see that you have or haven't started it, because we're able to look into Kajabi and see that. But really her outcome is to ensure that this individual redeems their ticket for the event. And so I have someone doing it who I don't think is particularly adept at that process, handling objections and really moving people, getting people to commit to the fact that, the event would, improve their business, improve their life, and then moving them forward to actually taking action around it.
Yeah.
I saw that, when I connected with her last week, it was conversations were taking place where someone would say, well, I'm not really sure, and I'll do it on my own later, or I haven't started the program yet. We didn't really have any objections, where it doesn't really matter if you've started the program. And so not only are we not effectively closing people into a ticket registration, we're also not following up on the protocol that we were given by our event coach on the frequency of the follow-up. And that's mostly because I think this individual just doesn't have the bandwidth. So at the front end of our needs at the moment is finding a resource, a salesperson, could be a sales coach, although it's more of a salesperson role, to connect with the leads that we're generating, to close them and to follow up with them with a protocol that is going to be optimal for getting as many people as possible to the event. So one of the things that Carol and I were talking about in terms of like our priorities right now was that need, and wondered if maybe that was something you guys could support us on.
The short answer is yes, absolutely. We're actually doing that for a client, Kate Andrew McShay, Online Leadership Pro. They have an event January the 22nd. Mm-hmm. And we just met with them on Saturday, and that's actually one of the first things we're going to be doing. Is we're going to be having one of our coaches basically work through their buyer list for their launch they're doing, and that's exactly what they're doing, is closing them into their complimentary ticket into the event. So yeah, absolutely, we could do that.
So in this instance, we wouldn't be selling them a program. We're basically just getting them to register or to upgrade to VIP. So the confirmation, the complimentary ticket is normally a $197 refundable deposit. The upgrade to VIP at the moment is a $297 non-refundable. And then all of that is actually positioned as some form of early bird as well, because ticket prices will go up over time. Not for the people who necessarily have a complimentary ticket, but the VIPs will go up over time. And for anyone who doesn't have a complimentary ticket that we might be contacting to move into a complimentary ticket or a $197 or $297 ticket, those prices will go up over time. My question would be around what would we need to do to get someone kind of effectively trained on what they need to be trained on, which might be generally the event, what we're selling, how we're selling it, how we're positioning it, and also these leads come from different sources. So introducing the call appropriately based on the lead source. How would we do that, and what would be the time to actually have someone do this? Our biggest constraint at the moment is time, because the event is January 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Holidays, so we're really looking at the next 8 weeks for a big push to continue to follow up and nurture the leads that we have, while I'm also out speaking and putting more leads in the pipeline. How long would it take, by your estimation, if we wanted to do this, to actually get someone contacting leads? And what would be required to set them up for success?
Yes, the question is, how long would it take to get somebody actually doing this and trained up and to set up for success? And just real quick, I just want to clarify, your event date is January 20 to the 22nd.
Yeah, we have a day 0, which is the 19th, where we have some VIP benefit. I do 3 hours of business coaching that evening before the event starts on the 20th.
Got it.
And Carol and I were about to start jumping on the phones, but I'm like, we need to get other things done.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Got it. And what's the location for your event?
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it's the Lowe's Royal Pacific Hotel.
Sorry.
Yeah, Lowe's Royal Pacific.
Royal Pacific Hotel. And what's the event name? The name of the event?
Powerful Living Experience.
Oh, okay.
Do we have chat on this?
Yeah, we did. You talked to me about your methodologies. I just didn't get that the name of the event was the Powerful Living Experience. I get that that's
I was asking if we have chat on this, just so I could send you the link to the, not did we chat about this?
Oh, yeah, we do.
And I'll send this all in a follow-up, but I've got you on chat, so if you want to open up another window and take a quick peek, you could do that. So
yeah, I just saw that there. You sent it to me. Perfect.
Yeah, cool.
Redirecting. Okay, I'm just taking a quick look here. Looks awesome. Very cool. And what's your goal for attendees?
So the internal goal originally was 200. Our stretch goal is 300, and our Martin Luther King I Have a Dream goal is 500.
Let me write that down. Yeah. So 200 was the set goal?
Yeah. Right now we've got 59 registrations, which actually is kind of on track for an event that would have 200 to 250 people in January. And I've got 3 big events I'm speaking at where we'll be generating leads. We're going to be doing a live stream at Suzanne Evans' place. I've got a couple of joint venture partners that are going to promote the live stream to their lists. I'm doing partner webinars, and we've got a list of about 18,000 people that we have not marketed to, nor have we Facebook retargeted them yet on my email list. So there's a lot of growth opportunity there, but we were looking at our numbers last night and we were like, shit, even with what we have, if we really had someone following up on the phones, we should be closer to 100 by now. And so we realized that this is like the critical piece for getting people to the event is having the follow-up. And we've seen Suzanne do that. Someone from Suzanne's team or an auto dial or an auto voice message contacts me at least every other day for her event that's coming up.
Got it. And when is her event coming up? How far out she starts to do that?
She starts to do it about 12 weeks out.
Got it. 90 days out. What day would that be for you? 12 weeks out is what, November? No, this month, right?
Technically 90 days out for us would be in 10 days. We're at about day 100 right now. Got
it. So would it be ideal for you to actually be able to get that going in about 10 days, within the next 10 days?
Yeah, if you have some experience in it, we're certainly open to it, but we're learning. We're using Twilio, which we should be able to send voice messages and text messages for. So Carol's kind of looking into that. Again, as looking at you guys as partners and knowing that you're working with other people who are doing similar things, you may have other ideas or ideas specifically around that, but getting someone on the phones to start following up. Like I just spoke at an event where 16 people bought my program, and another 20 people put their card, in the fishbowl. And it's been 10 days, and we have only followed up with the people who bought, and only followed up with them once. So sorry, the long-winded tangential answer to your question is, like yesterday, I would have liked to have had someone doing this.
Yeah, got it. No, that's good. I appreciate right now the context. You're giving me a lot of background, which is important. Got it. So I really get the need is you want to play full out and have this 90-day pre-event, follow-up push, somebody working the phones, getting people to, secure their deposit, their refundable deposit, maybe upsell them into the VIP offer,
or buy a ticket depending on where we are in the phase of the price increase.
Got it. And also open to, hey, how can we leverage some automation via SMS, voicemail, leading up to the event. And again, your goal is 200 solid, 300 stretch, and 500 is your I have a dream goal.
Yeah.
Okay. It's awesome because this is actually right around the same place you're at with our other client. Is at almost the same exact goals, same exact timeline, which is awesome because it's exactly what we're doing with them.
Great.
Yeah. Literally the event's the same weekend.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So
do you know where they are in terms of ticket registrations?
Say again, please.
Do you know where they are in terms of ticket registrations?
I have a meeting with them tomorrow evening to discuss that. So same call I'm having with you, I'm having with them tomorrow evening.
Great.
Yeah.
And the reason why we went from 200 to 300 was we looked at the speaking engagements, we looked at our list, we looked at our live stream, we looked at the partner webinars we're doing, and we said, listen, if we actually have the bandwidth to effectively follow up on all this, and the biggest bottleneck right now is actually the phone piece, we think we can get to 200 on what we've got. Then we said, geez, we know a lot of people, and we know a lot of business owners, and we know a lot of business owners who who appreciate and see the value in what we deliver. So maybe they could actually send some of their employees. And we know a couple of people who have small teams in network marketing. Maybe they'll bring 5 people, 10 people, 15 people. So we kind of looked at it, guys, as if we can get to 200, quality attendees, basically meaning sourcing them from the usual areas we would source them, the places we're speaking and so on and so forth, not just grabbing people off the street or doing local marketing where people show up who don't have any dough because they haven't invested in a hotel or an airplane ticket.
Right.
We'll be happy with our numbers, right? So once we get there, then the next thing is great, but we're doing the event. So how many lives can we impact? And the more people we have at the event, the more energetic the experience. Absolutely. So I'm just sharing with you my thinking process, which is let's lock in 200. Employees of companies are not the ideal client for us. They may buy our downsell. They probably won't buy our high ticket product. But once we are confident that, okay, great, we're going to sell 30, 40, 50 units, which make the economics of the event make sense. Now we're all about bring anybody who wants transformation. And I share that with you because, again, as partners, you may have other ideas, right? We're thinking totally outside of the box. I literally not thought about calling every single person that's in my phone that is an entrepreneur or a business owner or a successful professional. I just hadn't thought about it because I've been living in this world of marketing automation, right?
Right.
So I went through my phone the other day and there were 150 people. I was like, shit, out of 150 people, 15 will come at least.
Yeah.
And of those 15, they may bring another 5 people. That's 20 people I hadn't even thought of. So I'm very open to out of the box thinking as we're on the march to the event.
Got it.
You may even, have someone who's a client whose business sits tangential to us, I mean, maybe we hadn't even thought about it, but Fernie goes, yeah, man, all my people need mindset. Would love to cross promote Dave's event. I'm just saying there could be some really out of the box opportunities just through the relationships we have collectively that could bring another 20, 30, 40 people, or maybe even make the Martin Luther King dream happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So who is your ideal client? You said who it's not. You said it's not employees of companies, not the ideal. I know you want them there because you more people to serve, but the ideal client that you think is most optimal.
Yeah, it's mostly entrepreneurs and business owners and successful professionals transitioning into entrepreneurship or business ownership, or anybody that wants to create a secondary source of income even while they have a job, and they want to begin that process of like building a powerful life, the life they dream of living. And people who are interested in mastery. So we're teaching 3 realms of mastery. We're teaching mastery of your mindset, mastery of your business, and mastery of your relationships. And the way we describe that is we take people through this journey from mindset to mechanics to meaning in their life. And the first part of our 12-month program is what we're calling 2K, 30 day to 2K. Because what we really want is we want people to be able to utilize the program, the mentorship program that we've developed to help them develop mastery with their mindset, with their business, and with their relationships and meaning in their life, and to be able to go to our retreats and to be able to participate in our coaching without having to worry about the expense. So the thing we front load on is we believe that everybody has $2,000 a month that's already a possibility in their existence that they're just not aware of. Even be as an affiliate of us selling our $500 online program. Anybody could sell 4 Mind Hack online programs a month. And we would give them 100% commission on that, up to $2,000 a month, in order for them to fund the $25,000 12-month mentorship program. So, so could anyone participate in? Could anyone, buy our program? Sure. We tend to find that entrepreneurs who are already in business, that are feeling frustrated and stressed and overwhelmed, who need the mindset work, and who also are sourcing the mechanics of growing their business from multiple places, having to learn how to do webinars over here, having to learn how to tell their story over here, having to learn how to define their target client over here, having to learn marketing automation and campaigns over here, having to learn Facebook marketing over there, having to figure out how to grow a coaching business over there. And we just basically get to mentor them on all of that. And it's a really unique value proposition, because now we get to spend time getting to know you, which these, other kind of disparate trainers don't. They're teaching you on the thing. And then we can teach you on how to apply the thing best for you. Because we've taken the time in this intimate group. We'll probably have 40, 50 people, would be amazing, in the 12-month mentorship program. I'm going to know all your programs. I'm going to know your history. My team is going to understand your gifts, your talents. So, so that's the program that we're offering. And then now that we've started connecting with you guys, we're looking at now adding coaching, because that's what everyone needs. So at the high level, I know we're kind of dancing back and forth around our world right now, but at the high level, we're looking at a $25,000 program, which consists of 3 retreats, an optional 4th retreat, which will be the trip to India.
Awesome.
It's an optional 4th retreat because they would have to pay additional monies for the One World Academy training, right? So as opposed to when we go to Costa Rica to focus on mind, body, spirit, they have to pay for the hotel, but they're just paying for the hotel. They're not, it's a little more expensive, that 4th trip to India. Then they're going to get monthly calls with Carol and I, teaching on some form of mindset or mechanics. And then they're going to get coaching from you guys. And then we'll probably have a downsell, which will be $10,000, which is actually good for anyone, because it's going to give them access to our second Mindset Live event. So consider that like our date with destiny. And they're going to get coaching.
Can you say that last part again, please? I want to make sure I capture that.
Yeah, so we're looking at a downsell.
Downsell, okay.
That's a $10,000. So when you do the $25,000 program, you have, think of it as, it's almost like we don't have to compare it to Tony's world. When you join the $25,000 program, you get access to 3 more events. One is Limitless, which is the kind of mindset level 2. One is called Empire, which is about building your business strategies, tactics, and mechanics. And the other one is called Alive, which is about relationships with yourself, relationships with your body, relationships with spirit, relationships with others, mind, body, spirit, and wellness. And then the 4th trip, which is a spirituality trip to India.
Got it. So those are the 4 that included in the 25K package.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Okay, cool.
Then the downsell and coaching.
I want to make sure I capture the.
Yeah. We're still finalizing this because, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, that's a lot of value for 25K, and what are our margins really on it? So we're still evaluating it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And something you guys can give some feedback on. Then the downsell we're considering is a 10K program where you get access to Limitless, which is the Mindset 2 program, and you get coaching. And you get 6 months of coaching versus 12 months of coaching when you do the $25,000 program.
1 second, write that down. But yeah, so the downsell is they get access to Limitless. They get 6 months of coaching, right? And that's with you and your wife, Carol, and also with Wingman, right? So one-on-one and group.
That would probably just be Wingman, but we're debating.
Got it.
Because we're trying to make sure that people don't look at the $10,000 package and go, well, the value is not in the $25,000. So we said, okay, great. We'll have the amount of coaching that they get. They'll only get one event versus the 3 events plus the optional 4th, and they won't have access to Carol and I through the group.
What's the one event that they'll get?
Limitless.
That's right. You said 30. That's the okay.
Mindset 2. And those events next year will be a little bit more like kind of like workshops or retreats. They won't be full production like the Powerful Living Experience will be. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of like the seeds for future full-scale events.
I see. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, so I got that the 2 offerings would be the flagship is 25K product program. What's the name of it again?
We haven't come up with a name for it yet.
Okay, we'll call it nameless. It's going to include 3 retreats, Limitless, Empire, and Alive, and an optional 4th that you're evaluating right now, which would be to India for One World Academy training. They're also going to get monthly mentorship calls with yourself and your wife, and they'll get access to a one-on-one coach that can be filled with through Wingman. That's the flagship offer.
Yeah.
The downsell will be the 10K offer, which would be 1 event, Limitless, and then 6 months of one-on-one coaching sourced through Wingman, and then you're considering the possibility of giving them access to the group coaching as well.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
And we also have to consider, our margins this year, because if we're adding in coaching, which is a new thought, through Wingman, we have a cost. And we're also using Suzanne at this event for the coaching zone. So there's a cost. And then we have the fulfillment of the events, which has some cost. So I haven't pushed the pen around that yet. Like Carol and I were talking about at dinner last night, and I was like, shit, if we offer, 24 coaching sessions with the Wingman, that's going to be, another $2,500 on the 10K package. And that's where she said, well, why don't we just offer them 6 months then? Let's cut it in half. They can get 2 coaching calls. And I said, yeah, we could do that. So I have to push the pencil around a little bit, but I'm just sharing with you kind of in real time, like where our head is at, but subject to change.
Absolutely. I'm curious, what are the costs for the coaching zone through Suzanne?
The same as yours, 30%.
Okay.
I have a 5% discount because I'm a 1-year client with her.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Actually, if I can ask a couple questions regarding the event, do you guys already have an event planner for your event?
Yes, we use a woman named Audrey Hagen of Platinum Events. She does Brendan Burchard's events. She does JJ Virgin's events, or at least she did the last one. Number of other people that I know, she does their events. This is the first time we've worked with her.
Cool. And you guys already hired her on. She's already doing her thing.
Correct.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. The reason I ask is we have someone I could potentially refer to you, a platinum partner who's done events for 20 years, and they didn't get hired on as Tony's event, but they made the final cut for being actually Tony Robbins' main production planner, like the person in charge of David UPW, all of them. So just keep that in mind. I know you have a great person here, but just want to let you know that that's something else that someone we could refer to you as well if you need a
Yeah,
second.
we're always open to considerations.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So you have someone there. What are the economics of that, like your event planner? How does that work? Is it a per hour
So
project or
yeah, so there she's 16K. Um, and she does the contract negotiation with the hotel and keeps the room commissions, which probably is another 4K for an event our size, based on how I understand it. This event, for an event that's a first event, maybe even for the size of our event, we have more production because the music, the lighting, the state is really important because there's so much experiential. So RAV is about, well, I think it's quoted at 80,000, but it's about 65,000 because it's actually her husband, so we get a discount for working with her and him. The overall cost of the event is probably going to run us about 130 to 140, and then we cover some of that cost with sponsorship. I'm hoping to cover about half of that with sponsorship.
Any other information about the logistics of the event or the economics? I'm just looking for little ways that we can potentially help you out.
No, I mean, one of the things that obviously interested me, because I think it would have a significant impact on conversions, is as we talked about bringing you guys in for the financing piece.
Yeah.
Which I've not spoken to Suzanne about. I don't know what thoughts she has, but that interested me.
Okay. Write that down. Yeah, I know in the past, spoken with Suzanne, one of her strategies is she will bring in a sponsor with American Express, the Plum card, and basically they'll just be set up there. And as a sales team, the sales team would direct someone to, hey, go to the sponsor. You get approved, here at the event by American Express, up to, I forget what the line of credit is, and then it's no payments for like 6 months, something like that. So I think that's a strategy she shared with us. So it's actually the client going and getting a credit card, which is different than what they would do with us. With us, we actually get them financed, not like a credit card. And if they have poor credit, they won't qualify for a credit card if they have poor credit. But with us, we have a 21. I didn't mention this to you already. 21-day process. We can get them we can get their credit score worthy to be qualified for financing. And actually, it's 21 days. I know Joshua's actually working on even getting that even shorter. But yeah, so that's what I know about with her strategy, and that's what we do.
Yeah, and I had asked her about that, and we didn't go in detail maybe a month ago. I said, do you ever do financing? And she says, well, sometimes we'll bring in American Express, but that's normally for larger events or established events.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that would look like for us.
Yeah.
What it means is that American Express is normally very slow and very selective about the events that they'll do.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
And when you do the financing, do you get paid somewhere within the financing structure?
Joshua, that's a question for you, brother.
Yeah. So the question is do we get paid somewhere within the finance structure? And the answer is yes, we do.
Okay. And are those the only fees to you if we brought you in for the financing? In other words, is there a cost to us?
Right. So if right now we're not closing sales for you, we're just doing the finance piece, then we would make our money off the finance piece. Does that make sense? Unless we negotiated that we agree that was part of closing the sale, and we'd have to figure out what those are going to be. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah, it does.
And also, just to be clear, David, just one little thing, just pretty standard is whoever the finance specialist, our team member that we send, is just airfare, room and board. That's part of the cost as well.
Got it.
Yeah.
So with that said, because we filled in some of the other gaps, we can go wherever you want with it, or we could just back into the first need, as we're just talking about things in order of operations, which is someone on the phones and what we would need to do on our end to set them up for success, and how much lead time we would need to get them actually contacting leads.
Perfect. So let me ask you this question. What would it look like for you if it were absolutely perfect with that need being fulfilled for you? What would it look like for you if it was absolutely perfect?
I guess what comes to mind is that we would have someone calling who would have an understanding of the lead source. So they would be able to say, hey, John, I'm calling on behalf of David Beyer. You registered for his webinar, Master the Inner Game of Business. And David wanted me to personally reach out to everyone who registered for that event. Something around, because you've taken initiative and extend a really special opportunity, which is to join him for 3 days, in Orlando at his live event. And it's, normally a $997 ticket, but because you showed up on the webinar, David's, extending a special offer for, and then we'd need to make a decision, for a $297 ticket or $197 ticket or a $197 refundable ticket. Or the person would say, hey, Susan, I'm reaching out on behalf of David Beyer. You accessed his Mind Hack online program as being part of Danny Inney's tribe. And just want to acknowledge you for taking that action, because, there are a lot of people who have the opportunity to, change their life by changing their mind, but you actually stepped up and did it. And then maybe even in that case, that person would be able to say, I noticed that while you did it, you didn't, you haven't actually accessed the program yet. I just wanted to see if there's anything I could do for you. And they might have some questions that then get fed back to my team. And then after that, or I noticed that you went through to, the third module. And, as David talks about how important it is to complete the program. And if you do, then you get outcome A, outcome B, outcome C. Is there anything that we can do on our end to help support you in that process? And then I'm also calling because, David has really put together something generous, which is, his live event is in January. And because you're part of Danny's tribe and because you stepped up and took action with the Mind Hack, program, David wanted to extend this opportunity to you. And then we would need a clear articulation of what is the powerful living experience and why should this person care and why should they show up? And so we could easily, script that out together and then have the individual deliver that script. And then we would deal with objections effectively. We'd have to kind of figure out what they are. We've actually got some really good notes because we've made 60, 70 calls on what the objections have been. And then the systems would be set up appropriately so that individual could literally take a credit card over the phone and get the person registered. I don't know what the right word is, right? But like pitch them on the opportunity to upgrade to VIP and why that's important. And that together we would develop a follow-up sequence, so that they would probably have access to firing off an email. I mean, maybe they have access to our Infusionsoft to fire off an email with the information. I'd actually look to you guys to tell me what happens when, and there'll be various scenarios, right? At the end of that call, either someone says, yeah, great, sign me up, or someone says, can you send me more information? Or someone says, well, I can't decide right now, I'm in my car, and then we either need to send them some information or schedule a time for a follow-up and not leave open loose ends. I had one more thought. That would start happening as soon as possible. Ideally in the next week to 10 days. we'd come up with an economic structure that made sense, that also incentivized the person to close.
What might that look like if it were perfect for you?
You know, I look at the amount of leads that we have right now, and I don't know that it's a 40-hour-a-week job, and I don't know what you would pay someone to actually who could be effective at closing the types of quote-unquote sale that we're talking about here. In my mind, I was like, well, you know, if I could find someone that I paid $4,000 a month to, you know, 50 grand a year, effectively, who could do this and do it well, then essentially if I've got them half time right now and we can increase their capacity as we see that it's necessary in order to deal with the volume of leads that we have. So maybe they start out at like $2 grand a month. I'd have to back into like what we expect the conversion numbers to be. I'd have to understand if we needed to pay this resource or individual a base salary. I just wouldn't want to go completely on a base salary because I want the incentive to be there to close. So, you know, if you're closing a $200, you know, registration, you know, maybe you're paying out a $40, $50 spiff on each one. We'd have to push the numbers around and come up with some projections, and then actually probably see what the results were as we started to, you know, deploy the campaign, and then make adjustments, you know, as appropriate. We're not actually selling anything that we're truly generating revenue off of except the VIP upgrade. We're looking at the lifetime customer value of someone coming to the event and then moving them into a sale from there. I may have some other thoughts that come up, but that's, you know, we would receive some form of reporting so we would understand how those conversations are going and we could adjust appropriately.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I don't know how Twilio works, but maybe when we start doing, you know, phone drops to people and they press 1, it connects them to whoever we have working on this. I'm just trying to think of anything that could come to mind. But I think that's the meat and potatoes of what would be a really great scenario.
Awesome. Let me recap that with you, David, so I know I captured it. So someone who's calling, the person making the call having an understanding of the lead source and obviously your offers, like very good understanding so they know how to speak to the lead source and also effectively communicate the value of your offers. System set up to take payment over the phone. Having that person close event ticket sales and also upsell into the VIP offer. Having the ability to access Infusionsoft to go ahead and fire off, you know, the post-transaction emails or other information that has to happen after the call.
Yeah, and it would be any other information. If someone was actually, if the credit card was collected and someone transacted, Infusionsoft would automatically handle that, the post-transaction emails. Got
it. Okay. So ideally starting in the next week to 10 days, so you can have that 90-day pre-event window, take full advantage of that. From a compensation standpoint, you're thinking, hey, if it was perfect and I had enough business, I'd have a full-time person doing this, paying them about $4,000 a month, working about 40 hours a week. But if it were perfect, it'd be like, hey, right now about a half-time job, so about $2,000 a month to do working. The person working about 20 hours a week filling this role with the ability and the expectation that you can scale it up. Having that person be paid some kind of combination between base and commission, and also you receiving reporting, so you can understand how the conversations are going, and you can be able to adjust your approach appropriately based on performance.
Yeah, and the only thing on the numbers is I don't know what the numbers should be. I mean, Suzanne told me she's got a team that she pays $12 an hour to that are making the calls, right? So that's actually half of what I just shared. So, I mean, the outcome that we want is to find the most economical way to do it while still being effective with the close. I don't know if that's $2K a month to someone, $4K a month to someone, $8K a month. I don't know.
Got it. Yeah.
I do know what she does.
Yeah. Makes sense.
If it's 8K a month, I couldn't do it.
Right.
It wouldn't make sense. So
Yeah. Just quick side note here. What are your other offers? I get the high ticket offers that we talked about. What are your other offers that this phone person could potentially offer to the person on the phone?
So we've got the two that we talked about. Some of these people have not bought the Mind Hack program. So if you go through our online funnel, we sell it for $497. When I sell it from Stages, I sell it for $997. 7 is sort of a, hey, this is a one-time offer. You've come through my funnel. And that also includes a bonus program, which is the Powerful Living Experience Online. It includes 1 or 2 tickets to the live event, depending on where the offer is made. It includes access to our private Facebook community. So that's info product plus community plus event ticket, $500 or $497 or $997.
Got it.
I also do. We haven't done them yet, but it's in the structure of our products and programs. We have a program which is an $8,500 2-day intensive. Now that requires at least 6 people to make the intensive make sense. So we would need to have volume coming through so that we could fill the 2-day intensive, and ideally we'd have 12 people, 6 to 12 people. And that would be a 2-day intensive where I would work with a very small group of people, 1 day on their mindset, 2nd day on their businesses, mechanics, $8,500. And then we do have another program that I do deliver, which is a 1-day one-on-one intensive with me. That's a $15,000 day.
Got it. Any other price points or offers?
No, we've been talking about something to fill that $2,000 or $2,500 spot, and we might be able to take some things off the shelf and put it together if we wanted to do something. We'd obviously want to really make sense and create value and be logical in the ascension model. At the moment, we don't have that.
Okay, got it. And what is the ticket price for the event again? I know you mentioned it before, but I want to just capture.
Yeah, the general admission when it's not an early bird special is $997.
$997, so $997.
Yeah. The early bird, which I think expired October 1, but we're going to push that date back, which is on the website currently, is $297. The VIP that's on the website currently, I believe, is $497, and then when the early bird goes away, it's I think $1197. It's not that much more than the general admission, which might be an inappropriate pricing parity, but I think that's what's on the website. And then when someone has a $197 refundable ticket, we give them an opportunity to upgrade to VIP for $297.
Got it. So if they have a $997 complimentary ticket, you give them VIP opportunity for $297.
Yeah, versus the standard general admission at $297 and standard VIP, or sorry, early bird $297 and early bird VIP $497.
Okay, I'm just going to recap that so I know I captured it. So standard price for the event is $997. So $3 shy of $1,000. You have an early bird special, cart closed October 1. You're considering pushing that back. That was $297. So basically 1/3 of the price. And you had a VIP early bird of $497, and then the standard VIP price after early bird is $1197.
Yep.
And then for those people who qualify for a free event ticket with, I'm assuming with, having purchased another product of yours, you're offering the opportunity to upgrade to the VIP for $297.
That's correct.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So I'm seeing from a price point, we're ranging anywhere between, actually, one thing I didn't capture for those people who qualify for their 997 event ticket. You mentioned it's $197 refundable deposit. Is that correct?
Say that again.
So the people who have the free event ticket and we're talking to them, it's $197 refundable deposit they get when they show up, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I capture that. I'm just curious, what's the logic behind that price point?
The 197? Well, so our logic is that's what Suzanne's model is, and she's, very successful with the model and has been with her clients. Her logic is it's enough. It gets someone to use their credit card versus just giving away free tickets. So it shows some form of buyer intent or willingness. And then on the back end of that, she says that if someone's willing to basically spend $1,000 to get to you and participate in the event, then it's some sort of pre-qualification for them as a potential buyer.
Absolutely.
So it's a very low barrier on the front end, but the act of actually taking out your credit card, making the deposit, and then making the investment for the event at some level pre-qualifies the attendee.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just curious about the price point itself. Is what I've seen in just the last couple events I've attended that done this model, it's been $97.
Yeah.
Definitely, I get the whole thing of committing something so they got skin in the game. They show up. I totally get that. I was just curious as to 197 versus 97. If there's anything there, but I get Suzanne's just the price point she uses, and it's been working.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. And you guys offer any kind of special bonuses for like spouses or business partners? Is that also in this pricing?
We are doing a buy one, get one free. So it depends on what the communication is. If you've already got a 197 complimentary ticket, we allow you to bring a friend. And I believe the bring a friend, and you can bring as many as you want, is also for the 197 complimentary ticket. When we sell the 297, I believe we're going to start selling it as a buy one, get one free. And we probably won't go above the 297, even though we talk about ending the early bird. I don't see us ever moving up to the 997. I don't think we're going to sell any tickets at that level.
Got it. All right, so what I heard you say there is that it's currently for the people who have the free ticket and they pay the 197 deposit, they can bring a friend for free.
As long as the friend makes a 197 deposit.
As long as their friend makes okay.
And that may be something that we want our phone person to do, is to also call all the buyers, not only try to upgrade them to VIP, but also move them towards bring a friend. We'd have to talk about what that looks like. It might just be informing them. If someone called me and said, listen, you've got you qualify for a bring a friend ticket, you get to bring as many people as you want as long as they make the $197 deposit. I'd say, well, that's great. I'll go talk to my friends. I don't know that there's much for the phone person to do, although you may have some ideas.
Yeah, I just wrote it down for now. I'll see what comes up for me here around that. Cool. So buy one. Okay, and it's the same thing for the 297, right? Which is the VIP upgrade.
Yes.
As long as they pay. Well, in that case, the friend would be paying 297 total, or
the one person would pay 297 and they'd get a second ticket for free. I have to talk to the girls to find out how they're going to handle the registration of that second person. I'm not quite sure how that works. I assume that then that individual would get an email that then says, click here to register your second person. And there should be no additional cost for registering the second person.
Got it. Okay. So
I'd have to check with Carol on that. It's kind of a logistics question. Since we haven't done it yet, we haven't implemented it.
And that second person is getting a VIP ticket or a general admission ticket?
That would be a general admission ticket.
Okay. I think so. Little nuances. I just want to make sure I'm clear on this.
Yeah, and we may have to revise some of these once I actually, once we get into it.
That makes sense. I see that. So not only do they get to go VIP for paying an additional $297, but they get to bring one general admission friend for free for a general admissions ticket.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about the $297 general admission ticket. So you're talking about the $297 VIP upgrade.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a $297 general admission ticket.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the early bird that you have under the $997 ticket to event.
Okay, very cool. Got it.
Let me ask Carol real quick. Hey, Carol, can I ask you a question about the ticket redemption for the wingman guys?
Yeah.
So you're thinking of doing a $297 general admission ticket, but it's a buy one get one free, correct? That's what you're thinking is we've got $197 complimentary tickets.
Yeah.
And
if they pay an additional 100, it's $297 for VIP.
Right, correct. But so the people who have $197 complimentary tickets, are we going to do a bring a friend with them?
Yeah.
Yes. And will that bring a friend with the people who already have complimentary tickets be a complimentary ticket for $197?
Yes.
And it'll be as many friends as they want, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, so Rudy, we covered that one.
And then if we're going to sell
if you're going to sell tickets, you were talking about really never going beyond the early bird price, keeping it at $297, right?
That's early bird price, $297.
Super early bird
is free.
Is free, right? Correct.
Early bird is
$297,
non-refundable.
Yeah.
But
buy one get one free.
Buy one get one free.
So when you get one free with the $297, so I buy the $297.
Yeah.
I get some sort of email.
Yeah.
And then is it going to direct someone to a form to simply register who their other is with no deposit?
Yeah, no deposit.
No deposit, and it'll just be a registration form. Okay. Rudy, you following me?
I believe so.
Okay, we'll recap. I think I have one more scenario here. So if someone has a complimentary ticket,
Yep.
they upgrade to VIP.
Yep.
Don't they also get something in terms of another person or another ticket?
Yeah, they do.
They get to bring another friend, right?
Yeah. General admission.
General admission, $197 deposit. Okay. All right, Rudy, I can lay the matrix out to you now.
I think that's what I was assuming too. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's recap it just so we're both flat on that.
Great. So right now we have people who are holding a $197 refundable ticket. We want to get them all to redeem their tickets. When they do redeem their ticket, we're going to do a campaign that basically says, because you have a ticket and because you have a complimentary ticket, you can bring a friend. In fact, you can bring as many friends as you want, and they'll get a general admission ticket, the $997. They won't get to sit up front in VIP, but they'll get a general admission ticket for a $197 refundable deposit for free. You get to bring a friend for free.
Yeah, as long as they make the $197 deposit.
Correct. So and that at the moment that is for anyone who holds a complimentary ticket. Okay. Then anyone who holds a complimentary ticket, anyone who makes their way to VIP, however they get there, they now have a VIP ticket. They also get to bring a friend. That's one of the values of the VIP ticket, because no one knows that we're rolling out bring a friend to everyone, right? So one of the values of VIP is you get to bring a friend, but that friend has to make a $197 refundable deposit.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, what was the one other scenario? The other scenario is that you buy a $297 general admission ticket, which is a buy one get one free early bird. And with that, you get the one free. The one free will not require any type of deposit. That individual will need to put in the person's information in a registration form.
Okay. Hey, Dave, give me 1 second. I just need to use the restroom real quick. Give me like 60 seconds. You're back. All right, David, I'm back up with you.
Cool.
All right, the Matrix.
The Matrix.
I think I'm going to rewrite this. Let me recap and rewrite this. Like, kind of a few things. Let's just do it from the top.
Okay. You have a $197 complimentary ticket. So you're a $197 complimentary ticket holder. You get to bring a friend. Requires a $197 refundable deposit. Number one.
Got that one.
Number two, you're a VIP. Maybe you upgraded from a $197 refundable ticket. Maybe, however you got to VIP, you got to VIP. You're a VIP. You get to bring a friend for free. The friend ticket is general admission. And it requires a $197 refundable deposit.
Got it.
You bought a $297 general admission buy one get one free ticket as an early bird.
Yeah. So this is general admission, buy one
Get one free.
Buy one, get one free.
Your one free requires registration of your second person. No deposit, no fee.
Got it. All right, I got that one.
Those are the scenarios.
Okay, easy enough. 197 comp ticket holder, they bring a friend, the friend pays $197 refundable deposit. They're a VIP regardless of how they got there. They get to bring a friend for free, the friend makes a $197 deposit. If you took advantage of the 297 general admission, buy one, get one free as an early bird, they get to bring a friend for free, but the second person does not have to pay a deposit or fee, they just have to get registered.
Correct.
Ooh, got it. Thanks for helping me understand that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so to hear my thoughts based on what you shared with me so far. So I'm just going to share with you what we're doing for, well, that might work best. Let me share with you what we're doing for our existing client who's literally on the same timetable you are. It's really cool. So what we're doing with them is they have a $1,500 offer. And if they're percolating on it like a $6,000, $8,000 offer, somewhere in there, probably something that would be comparable to your offer. Let's see, where is it at? Write it down. Like your 2-day intensive, like kind of $8,500, kind of that 6,000, not quite 10,000, but you know. And so what we're doing with them, and just to be clear, we haven't started this yet. We're planning on launching this like this week, next week. But our plan is we're going to do a two-step approach with them. We're going to have one coach that is going to be reaching out to their buyer list and reaching out to them with the outcome of getting them scheduled for a 1-hour free coaching session, as a bonus. Like, hey, a bonus of being a buyer of David Beyer is, you get a free 1-hour coaching session, a $297 value, $497 value. Right, well, we can play around with that. And then gets them on the calendar with the second coach. And the second coach then shows up, delivers an outstanding free coaching session. By the way, I sent you an audio recording of a free coaching session that closed a $25,000 package. Were you able to get that?
I didn't see it. I don't know if it got stuck somewhere. It wasn't in my inbox. Would it have come from you?
Yeah, I forwarded it from coachrodolforodriguez@gmail.com.
I'm searching for Rodolfo in my outlet.
Let me send you again right now, because I would definitely want you to hear that so you can get a sense for the value and the quality that's there and the effectiveness.
Okay.
Let's see, where is it? Let's see.
Hold on one second.
It's okay. Oh, I think I know what happened.
Are you there, Rudy?
Yeah, I'm here, David. Hey, your email is dbayer@databang.com, correct?
It's a BANQ.
BANQ. Okay, that's it. I had it twice. I had data bang and data bang BANQ.
Yeah, and the one I use for this business is actually David@davidbeyer.com.
Okay, let me send it to both.
I probably sent our initial outreach from a different email, but
David@davidbeyer.com. All right, I'm sending it to both.
right.
Right. Yeah. Let me read the message. All right, so let me know you got it. Just hit send just a moment ago.
I am checking. Yeah, got it.
Cool. Yeah, so listen to it on your time. I think it's like 60 minutes, maybe 90 minutes. So typically a really powerful free coaching session goes about 60 to 90 minutes, and 90 on the high end, 60 on the low end. We found to effectively get somebody to close at $25,000 price point over the phone, that's about the time commitment, 60 to 90 minutes. In person, about 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this audio, it's fresh. It's like literally less than a week old. It's almost textbook.
And what do you sell here?
So that's Fernie's 1-year coaching mentoring program.
And what does he sell? Like how to make money online, or?
Yeah, it's called the Fast Track to Freedom Elevation Coaching and Mentoring Program. So it's 1 year of group coaching with Fernie and his team. They also get 4 events, just like yourself. The events are all workshops, marketing workshops, and they get a one-on-one coach throughout the year. But yeah, the premise of it is that people are doing that program to learn how to either start a business online or grow their existing businesses using the internet.
And do you see any? Do you see that model would be easier to sell than what we're selling, or do you see that what we're selling could also be sold as effectively?
The short answer is I don't have enough information to make that opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Fernie serves a very specific niche. His niche is online marketing.
Yeah.
That is what they do. And the specific audience they target are network marketers. So network marketers whose biggest pain point is running out of people to talk to. And they position, hey, generating your own leads online is a solution to that. I'm paraphrasing. That's from a marketing perspective. They don't only have network marketers, but from a marketing perspective, that's their niche. And yeah, that's their bread and butter is online marketing. That's primarily what they focus on.
Okay.
Yeah. So coming back to what we're doing for them. So you got the recording, so you kind of listen to that between now and next time we talk to get a sense of the level of quality. We're committed, David, that when we speak to clients, even if it's on a conversation about making the deposit for their ticket, right? That we stand for transformation in every single conversation we have.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's who we are. So our mission is to bring results-orientated transformational coaching to the home-based business industry. That's our mission. Mm-hmm. We stand for that. Even someone who's making a call to get a ticket deposit. That's what we stand for. So you get a sense for that. I hope you get a sense for that in that conversation. You let me know. You give me your feedback. So again, kind of coming back to what we're going to be doing for this client is a two-step approach. One, we're going to have a coach that's going to reach out to their buyer list, offer them a free coaching session, right, as a value add. And then they're going to show up for their second call with their coach, and that's where they'll get this free coaching session that sells. And we're going to be focused on, and again, we haven't implemented yet. This is just kind of the preliminary planning stages. I think we're going to be focused on selling their $1,500 offer, and we're going to give them let them know, by the way, you get, with this offer, you're getting an event ticket and you want to be at the event. Like really emphasizing the value of the event and how the event itself is worth more than what they've already invested.
Yeah.
And if they don't invest in the $1,500 offer, we're going to downsell the event. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and these are already buyers. They've already transacted.
That's correct.
Okay. So a little different than some of our leads, right?
Yeah. I got to get a little more clarity on all your lead sources, but yeah, the people we're focusing on with them they're already buyers.
Yeah.
And then we're going to downsell into the event, and a percentage of those people are bound to already have event tickets, like given to them complimentary or maybe they've already purchased, in which case the outcome of that call is to secure their deposit.
Okay.
But the point of that second conversation is really to get the client in a place where they really get that they need to make a change, and they need to make a change right now, right? And even if something as a simple commitment as making the deposit to go to this event and committing to go to the event, that could be the change for them. And really making sure that we're positioning the benefits of the event to exactly what it is that they're struggling with. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's our two-step process that is our preliminary plan. Again, I'm going to review with them tomorrow evening and then lay out the execution plan on it. Our goal is to start as early as next week with them.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing with them.
Yep. So what do you think, based on that, would make sense for us?
Yeah, great question. So from a pure economic standpoint, in order to do the 1-2 step process, there has to be some kind of offer that the coach can close on that second call that's somewhat premium, so that we can pay that coach what they're worth. Does that make sense? Or so that coach can earn what they're worth?
Sure.
Right. If the coach is spending 90 minutes with someone to secure a $200 deposit, and then we're paying the coach $40, it's not really the best use of that. Does that make sense?
It does.
Sorry, I just went on a tangent. Your question was, how can we make that work for you and where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way I see it is, I love this model for when we get through the sprint to our event, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to our initial conversation, which is, we've invested so much in this event. We need to make this event a success. And the linchpin of it, as I see it, is actually someone touching all of the leads that we have coming in and getting them to take advantage of a ticket, right? Either buying a ticket or taking advantage of a complimentary ticket.
Yeah.
So I'd like for our focus to be that for the next 90 days. Once we get through the event, then we have a little bit of breathing room, and then we can go ahead and actually build some of the assets, create a funnel, and start moving people into the type of current sequence that you're selling for Fernie, or this sequence, which is just a modified version of it. It's not as high of a price point, right?
Correct.
So I love that. Like, I'm already super excited for like the day after January 22nd, so that we can build this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if in the meantime we think it makes sense to do something like this, I'll have to huddle with Carol and say, what would we sell? The traditional model that we've been observing is just contact these people and get them to reserve their ticket. That would then eliminate the second coach if we weren't selling something.
Right.
The other thing that affects conversions here, I'm not saying it affects it negatively or positively, is the fact that coach number one is basically offering the coaching session with coach number two.
That's
so
correct.
All those people that aren't interested in the coaching session with coach number two, but there may be people who are not interested in the coaching session, but would be interested in a ticket.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if in your model currently something to consider is, does coach number one downsell the ticket to the event, or that may not be the model for this client? Our priority right now is what approach is going to get us the best conversions on people putting deposits down or buying tickets.
Okay. Got it. So answer the question, what approach is going to get us the best conversions on people putting deposits down or buying their tickets for the event?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great question. I mean, we could do just a one step, which is really obviously straightforward. It's call and prospect. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, you had a good time. Great. Yes. Hey, just calling on behalf of David Beyer. Just want to let you know that, as a valued customer, you earned a complimentary ticket via whatever the lead source was, and for the event, right, and get them basically to commit to paying their deposit to go to the event at that point.
Yep.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, we could backwards it if we wanted to. So question one would be, can we find a way to work together where that would make sense?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, great. If the answer is yes, maybe, and the maybe's dependent on the structure of this, what we could consider doing is, once that conversation is had, we say, by the way, as part of your ticket, you actually are getting a $497 coaching call with one of Dave's coaches. Then you could move them into the second conversation, and we could sell them into something.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
But our priority at the moment, like need number one, is 200 to 500 people at the event.
Yep.
And what we see as the greatest opportunity to make that happen is someone reaching out and touching all these leads that we have.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like how I like that shift there. We can make it a priority to close the deposit or the ticket, and as a, what we can even do, David, is something that works really well is, as a special bonus. It's like a bonus for people who decide on this call. They get a bonus, free coaching session with one of David's coaches, $497 value alone. Because people need, I'm sure you've listened to Tony's course or some other sales courses. People need emotional reasons to buy right now and logical reasons to buy right now.
Yeah.
You need to have a reason. You need to have a reason to eliminate, hey, I'll think about it, or let me talk to my wife, right? Or let me get back to you. We got to avoid that. So we got to give them logical and emotional reasons to make a decision on the phone.
Yeah, the other thing we could do, hey, Carol, do you have a second? Because I'm thinking the other thing we could do to make the economics work is we could make VIP $497, and we could sell into VIP, but we have a cost to that. So if one of the things that Rudy's talking about is calling our prospects, getting them to make the deposit, offering them a free coaching call with one of our badass coaches as part of that, which is a $497 value. It's a 60 to 90 minute call with one of our coaches. But then on that call, we have to have something that the coach can sell, right? In order for the economics to work out for that coach and for Rudy and the organization.
Yeah. But, but I guess that would be a spin to what we were trying to do before with a webinar, because they're going to be with a coach for 45 minutes on this.
So what do we sell them?
We can sell them the $25,000 package.
Rudy, can you sell them into the $25,000 package with maybe like a $3,000 discount or something for like a pre-event discount?
I just told them we are pre-launching this. The big launch is going to be at the event, but there's only a limited amount of these packages.
Right.
And it comes with the coaching, with the free trips.
Right. Everything that it comes with. Could that happen? Or you could sell the $10,000 program as well, which includes coaching and the next event, right?
That would be the down sale, yeah.
So Rudy, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, man. Loud and clear.
So, because what they're doing right now with another client that they're about to launch with is a $1,500 upsell on that coaching call. Is that right, Rudy?
That's correct.
Right. So how do you feel about a higher ticket that actually pre-selling the two programs that we're offering at the event?
Yeah, I think that might work. Let me take a note of that. That might work. And then obviously the wingman and the sales coach participates in the sale, right? Like the profit from the sale or the revenue.
Correct.
That's what creates the opportunity for the coach to really make it worth their time to put in 60, 90 minutes. Consider.
The only question for you would be, is the high ticket appropriate for this process based on these leads? These are people who have seen me on a webinar. They've seen me speak on stage. They bought one of our programs. They took some form of action, right?
Yeah.
They're not all buyers, but they're all people who have been indoctrinated at some level. They've spent time with me. Right.
Well, consider maybe we just do the second free coaching session for the people who made their deposit. Or they make a deposit on the first call, and then they're going to the event, so that it might be, in fact, it might be a pre-sale for them, right? Because even if necessarily they don't buy per se on that call with the coach, it's planted the seed.
Yeah.
Again, at the event when they meet in person, they ask you about it. Yeah, that's a possibility.
And if something else needed to happen, I would just need to know, okay, well, what would need to happen? Like if you said, listen, it really needs to be a $1,500 program or a $2,500 program, we would just have to look at what that could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be a 8-week group coaching program, that happens after the event.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll think about that. But it would be beneficial just from a price point structure. Like I love the 25K. I love leading with 25K. I love done selling to 8.5. I definitely would recommend something in the realm of 2K, somewhere in that ballpark, plus or minus $500.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be downselling the 8,500 yet. Well, at least what we just talked about was the 2,500 and the 10K. The 10K includes the limitless event plus coaching with you guys.
Oh, excuse me, sorry.
It's okay. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't see any reason why we couldn't do an 8-week group coaching program that's focused on mindset and mechanics that's going to help you, and then really deal with all the things that they're dealing with, right? Selling into the fact that they need to make a change in positioning the benefits of the event of the group coaching program to what they're struggling with. We're doing the same thing with the event.
Yeah. The 2K offer would be like post-event.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an exclusive offer for people who take advantage of the opportunity now, right? David's going to do a group coaching program with a limited number of people to further the work that was done at the event, so that you can, accomplish outcome A, outcome B, outcome C, and overcome challenge A and challenge B and challenge C that you're experiencing right now, which is causing you, tremendous pain in your life and preventing you from having the pleasure that you want.
I like it, man.
We can do that.
Yeah, and of course we can clean. We can really polish that offer. But yeah, having that price point as a post-event coaching offer. Yeah,
those are easy. I can do group coaching calls all day long. So
cool. Yeah. So what I'm seeing here, what I'm visualizing is we can still implement the 2-step process.
Yeah.
One, obviously the priority, the first call is to secure them into their event ticket, and as a one-time only bonus for the people that decide on the phone, they get a free coaching session with one of David's badass coaches. Set them up for the second free coaching session, which will be like 60 and 90 minutes. In that, we'll offer $25K, your flagship offer, downsell them $10K, and then downsell them to $2K from there. Yeah.
And unless you don't even want to deal with the $25K. I'm kind of iffy on it because, I remember talking to Suzanne about it. She's like, it's a double-edged sword, because you're basically revealing to them now that you're going to pitch them a $25K program at the event when you haven't indoctrinated them for 2 days at the event. So, her only thought was, does that deter people from showing up at the event? Does it affect the way they approach the event? So all we're doing right now, long term, Rudy, we want to find a way that we can create the most value for our clients, put the best ascension and descension model together, so that we can also make as much money as we can as a business and create an even greater impact in the world, right? And it feels like you and I are going to work together next year and beyond to make that happen.
Yeah.
Immediately, our need is to simply get people to redeem tickets.
Yeah.
We're expanding the model because it sounds like we're trying to make the economics work for your coaching team. Therefore, and we're providing even more value, which I like. So if $2,500 does it, I would be okay with just doing that through the end of the year. If the 25,000, does it, then that's fine too. My preference would probably be to, and I don't know if we have enough to test it. I don't know what my preference would be. My concern is the reveal before the event, but I also don't want to take away an opportunity that might make the most sense.
Yeah, got it. I get the concern. We don't want to. Revealing before the event can influence how they approach the event.
Yeah.
Offer before indoctrinating them for 2 days. Could, yeah. Here's one thing I would recommend, David. Have a listen to that audio and just kind of listen to the format of it. And my hallucination is that you'll see how our reveal is very, very, very gentle approach.
Yeah.
And very permission based. And it's not a hard close at all. It's like, hey, would you like to hear a little bit more? We have a program specifically designed to help people overcome the kind of challenges that we've discussed and achieve the kind of results that you're looking to achieve. Would you like to hear a little bit about it? It's a very, very soft approach. So just have a listen. Just have a listen to how your concern here.
Great.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so let's talk about your priority one, right? So priority one is, hey, let's get somebody to work the phone, work the leads, get the deposits down, or sell tickets, or let people know that they can refer their friends. So something we've done in the past, we call it it's kind of a hybrid, because it's so in the past we've done something called an appointment setter. An appointment setter's job is just to reach out, talk to the client, make sure that they that they got access to the product, they got their question, that they knew what they bought, and then they got and then they got scheduled with the second coach, right? That was just the appointment setter. Their job was not to close, and then we paid that person basically by the minute of talk time, right? And we have a system that tracks, every phone call, every minute they talk, everything's recorded, so it's very well audited. There's no abuse there. So what I'm hearing is maybe have some kind of hybrid between the appointment setter, but maybe have an appointment setter who can close on the call, in which case it would be just coming up for me, some kind of combination between pay by the minute and pay per outcome. So pay per, per deposit or per ticket sale or something along those lines. That's what's coming up for me. How does that land on you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that something that will fulfill your needs?
Yeah, what it does, and are what we're talking about now is a model where that's all we're doing and we're not selling people into the coaching call?
Correct. Yeah, I'm just taking a look at that piece of
that piece first. Yeah.
Yeah, if that's all we did.
Yeah, if that's all we did, that would be great. As long as we could achieve something close to, what we outlined when you said, what would this need to look like for it to work for you?
Exactly.
Right. And then of course, the natural question is, what do we need to cover in terms of the pay per minute and pay per close, so that we could kind of project out a model around that?
Yeah, great question. So typically, as a company, for that service, we charge about $1.25 per minute of talk time. So I'll write that down. Let's just do the math together. That's what we've done typically. And we'll create some kind of correlation to outcome, which is generally something we've done in the past is like 20% of whatever revenue was collected over the phone by the coach.
If I'm doing the math right, then it puts the talk time at $75 an hour.
Yeah, if they're actually on the phone the entire time, right? So what's predictable is that a coach has to spend a lot of time making dials to actually get people on the phone. So you're not paying them for the time that they're dialing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The question would be, what percent of the time are they dialing? Because if it was, if they were on the phone 75% of the time, then we'd be looking at something close to $50 an hour, which would put us at about an $8,500 a month resource.
Yeah. So you're saying, I get what you're saying. It's come out in the past. I've seen it for an hour of making dials, they're typically on the phone for about half that time. Right, because they take notes afterwards. They do administrative things before and after. So typically it's about half the time. So let's just call it about $30 an hour on average. And you said 40 hours a week, 20 hours a week. That's a total of 80 hours. So what does that come out to?
You've hit me before my green tea is kicked in. Hold on a minute. So if it's $30 an hour, just if we looked at what a full-time resource would be, it'd be a $51.60 a month. It's in the ballpark, but it's more than the initial numbers we looked at, right? Like my perfect world was that all in between a spiff and a flat fee, we were spending $4.
Yeah, well, actually, let me rerun those numbers real quick, David. So $30 an hour on average, and it's 20 hours per week, right, for 4 weeks. So that's 80 times 30.
Yeah.
The number that came up with my calculator was 2,400.
Yeah, it would be about half of what I said. I was just looking at a full-time resource because the other option is to hire someone to call, right?
Yeah.
So hire someone to hit the phones and call. So because if we scale these people up to full time, they're going to be a $5,100 a month resource plus some percentage of what they're closing, right? Because my hope, Rudy, is that we have enough leads to have this person working the phones full time.
Right. And the beautiful thing about that, of doing it this way, is per talk time. When you don't have enough leads, you're not paying a hire.
Correct.
Right? You're not paying them by the hour. So if you don't have the leads, then you're not paying them.
I mean, listen, one way that we could arbitrage the cost is to then move them into the coaching call and make sales, correct?
That's correct.
Move them into and then offer the $2,500 or $3,500 group coaching program.
That's correct. Yeah.
And if we did that and we had any level of success, we would be hope to cover some of the investment that we're making on the front end in the talk time, correct?
That's right. So let's just run some simple math. Let's just be real conservative. Let's say it's a 2K offer. I mean, let's just say, assume we don't close any 25K, any 10K offers. Let's just say we did the bare minimum 2K offer on the phone, which is bread and butter all day long for this type of coaching session.
Okay.
And let's say conservatively it's 10% close rate, right? Which is very conservative. When I do it, I close like 40%. And like 40% into like a 10K offer. So I'm being ultra conservative here.
And when you close, is there, not all leads are the same, right? In terms of some are buyers, some are like heavily pre-qualified and indoctrinated. Some people have just literally cold leads where someone's just opted in. When you're looking at a 10% conversion rate, where does the lead quality sit in the spectrum for something like that?
Yeah. So the assumption I'm making here is that they've invested at least $1 with you.
Okay.
At least $1. Like in some way, shape, or form, they pull out their credit card and says, "I believe in David."
Okay.
Right.
And a lot of these people have not. They have complimentary. I would say, let's see how many people we've got. We've got the 37. We've probably got about 100 people have bought from us, but I would say that half of those people have actually already redeemed their ticket. We can still offer them the free coaching session, and we can still move them into the group program. Yeah. It just doesn't meet our primary objective.
Right.
Then we're going to have a couple hundred other people who texted to get a complimentary ticket while I was speaking on stage, but they never redeemed the complimentary ticket.
Right.
Right. Or they they registered for a webinar that I did, and they didn't buy the product at the end of the webinar. So I just want to give you the full spectrum of this, right? And we may hand over 500 leads. I have to look at the actual numbers. And then we need those leads to be worked. Some of those people will have bought from us. Some of those people will have not bought from us, but they took some form of action. So I just want you to understand the sourcing of those leads.
Yeah. In fact, let me go ahead and take notes on that right now. So lead sources. So let's try to get as specific as we can here. So I know you have 100 people who have bought.
Yes.
On list, and about half have redeemed ticket.
Yeah, maybe less than that, maybe a third.
Okay, about a third. Great. Cool. What approximately are your other sources?
People who have participated in a webinar that I've hosted, either in tandem with a partner, or one of my own webinars, and they've given us their phone number. We've probably got about 600 of those.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they showed up on the webinar necessarily.
Okay, got it. So registrants.
They registered, about 25% of them showed up. you've probably got another 100 people who saw me speak on stage, came by, gave their business card because they wanted to get my free ebook and 4 training videos or enter a chance to win a coaching session with me, or they texted the number that I put up on the screen. And then we're probably going to bring you another 300 people from speaking engagements that I have over the next 60 days, that some will be buyers, some will be texters. And we'll probably bring you another, by the time we do our live stream at the end of November and we move into the first week of December, we may bring you another 300 people who have registered for a webinar. Some of them will become buyers, a small percentage will become buyers, but we'll have phone numbers for all of them.
Okay, so these are like future leads.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And as far as promoting your event goes, are you guys going to be running like paid advertising or anything like that? I know you talked about doing some JVs with some other people as well.
Yeah, I included the JVs in that last number.
Okay.
And we'll be doing some Facebook ad retargeting to our list of like 18,000 people. Although I'm not quite sure how we would convert those into a lead for you, like where we would pick up a phone number or something. Now, if we also know that we've got this system in place, we could send out an email to our entire list. And I'm just thinking out loud, right? Like offer one of our coaches or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that helpful at all?
Yeah, very helpful. Very, 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 very helpful. Cool. Well, let's just finish our thought here with just running the basic math. Let's just say conservative 2K offer. Let's say we do offer the 25K and the 10K, but we only close 2Ks.
Yeah.
Right. Just worst case scenario. And let's just say we do a 10% conversion for buyer leads, which I think, considering buyer, tell you what, let's make this even more conservative. Let's just say 5% all lead sources.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ultra conservative. I mean, ultra, like unrealistic. I've never seen it before. Okay. So it's the all lead sources.
And these are the people that make it to the coaching call.
Yeah, that's correct. So this would be actually the people that make it to the coaching call. And let's just say, okay, and let's just say you pay, so what does that look like? So let's say from, let's call it, let's just call it 1,000 leads. Let's just say we have 1,000.
Yep.
1,000 leads that we reach out to. Let's just say from the 1,000 leads, put it up here. 1,000 leads called. Let's just say conservatively, over the course of time, we get 25% of them to pick up the phone at some point, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just being real conservative. Mm-hmm. 25% that pick up the phone, let's just say, from the 25%, let's just say 50% of those people are like, yeah, I would like a free coaching session with one of David's badass one-on-one coaches.
Yeah. Toward 125.
Let's just say from those, let's just say conservatively, very conservatively, I'm going to be very conservative, let's just say 50% actually show up. Mm-hmm. And then for the ones that show up, actually, I'm going to bump the 5% up. I'm going to bump it up to 10 because honestly, 5%, I've never seen it that low.
Right. So essentially, we'd sell 6.
Yeah, 10% close into a 2K offer. So what does that come out to?
6.
So that's 6 at 2K. Okay, and let's just say, okay, 6 at 2K. What's that total? 12 revenue?
Yeah.
12 revenue. Revenue. And so the standard payout, same as Suzanne Evans, is 30% of that pay to the closer. So let's just say
4.
What's 1/3 of that?
About 4.
4-ish.
8.
$8K profit, right? Because it's group coaching, so there's really not a lot of expense on your end, right? So roughly 8K profit. So it's super conservative. So let's just say, yeah. So
now the other question in this model is how long it takes to get through 1,000 leads, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. How quickly can we do 1,000 leads? How many free coaching sessions would that be? So we said 25% of that pick up the phone. So let me just get actual numbers here. So that's 250.
It's 125 free coaching sessions.
50% take the free coaching session. So 125 appointments.
Yeah. And 62.5 show up for a call.
Yeah. 62. It's called 63 show up.
Yeah.
And we get 6 buyers. So how long would it take to do 63? Yeah, call 1,000 leads and to do 63 free coaching sessions. My guesstimation is total guesstimation just based off of if it's a 2-person team. Let's just say just look at sheer time. So on average, it's an hour for a free coaching session. That's about 63 hours. Probably looking at least 30 days. Probably somewhere between 30 to 45 days.
I was actually more concerned, not concerned, but I was actually focused more on the 1,000 leads on the front end.
Oh, I see. Like how long would it take to get 1,000 leads? To work it out.
To contact. If we handed you 400 leads today, how long would it take for the appointment setter, who's also the closer for the ticket deposits, correct?
Yeah, in this hypothetical, yeah.
It's hypothetical, how long would it take them to get through, say, 400 leads?
Yeah, so let's run that scenario. This is an exciting note here. So let's say 400 leads with phone numbers, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
So on average, if the person's working, guns blazing, like 100 outbound calls per day.
Okay.
That's guns blazing.
So that's calls, and then there's some conversations.
Right, and then from that, they're going to have a percentage of those are going to be conversations. Let's just say roughly, let's be conservative, let's say 1 in 4, right? Or actually, I'll be even more conservative, say 1 in 5. I'm being really conservative because I like to be meaningful conversation. So let's just say roughly we're connecting with 20 people a day, right?
Yep.
20 per day. And let's just assume that of the 400 leads, that a percentage of those are never going to pick up the phone, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say 25% of them never pick up the phone. For whatever reason, like myself, I wouldn't pick up the phone if I didn't recognize the number.
Right.
Let's just say 25%.
Do we leave messages?
I do not leave messages. I recommend do not, because if you leave a message, then they know who's calling the following time, and they'll already premeditate that they're not going to pick up the phone.
Got it.
Yeah, that's my recommendation. So 25% don't ever pick up the phone. We're basically saying that the 400 leads are really like 300, right? People that'll pick like good numbers. And we're calling we're calling up to 100 people per day, and having 20 people pick up, or 20 meaningful conversations every day. So roughly, I'm totally swagging it here. There was 300 divided by 20.
15.
Okay, so let's say 15 working days, 15 like business days, right?
Yeah.
Roughly 15 business days, effectively.
And that matches up with the estimates up above too. So.
Yeah.
I mean, we could make it work. Also, what do we need to pay on the front end for the ticket deposit? Because that'll add into our cost too.
Oh, like if the coach collects the ticket deposit?
Yep.
Yeah. So in the past, we've done somewhere between 20 to 30% for that. Again, we're open to figuring out something that works for your economics.
Yeah.
Basically, whatever the revenue is that's collected, it's a percentage of that revenue.
Okay. Yeah, I think if we had some wiggle room on the percentage and some wiggle room on the cost per minute, we could get the cost down to something that wouldn't extend our risk too much. We could start to see what the numbers look like, and I'm fine with whatever the numbers need to be, to make sense for you guys and make sense for us. I just don't want too much. I don't want to lay out, 10K. I mean, I could, but I prefer not to lay out, 10K, and then see that we didn't really produce the results that we wanted for whatever reason. I think structurally what we're talking about makes a lot of sense. So if the structure of what we're talking about makes sense, then the question, Rudy, is how long would it actually take us, and what would we need to do on our end to get this thing deployed? What would you need to do on your end? Like when could we actually make this happen, knowing that we'd like to have the full 90-day sprint? We're 10 days away from that.
Yeah. So what would have to happen for us, like, to do a full 90-day sprint, knowing we're 10 days out? So how it would have to happen for us to be live by October?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would have to happen is, thinking out loud here. So let me just type it out. It's always better to type out. So it's like, what would have to happen? What would have to happen to go live by 20 October? To do full 90-day sprint. That's the question. All right. Let's see. So let's see. What would have to happen to go live? So what comes up for me here is number one. Obviously working out agreement. So working out service agreement, which is basically pay and all that stuff, right? Pay structure. So figuring out, hey, what are the economics that work and what can we agree to? The next step would be us wingman. Actually, let me be more specific. So create position scorecard. So what we do at Wingman is we like to actually sit down with you and write down like all the expectations for the position, the economies and the expectations, so that you sign off on it. So what your expectations are. We know what your expectations are, and then we take those exact expectations, and then we interview a member of our team who wants to take on this role, and we make sure that they're agreeing to the same expectations and they sign off on those expectations. That way, You know what you're expecting, and they know what you're expecting. We're all on the same page. We call it a position scorecard. Does that make sense?
It does. And so would we be bringing someone on to this campaign or this project who's already on your team?
That's correct. That's correct.
And what happens when you don't find anyone on your team, or is that just not something that happens?
It's not something that happens. We have a huge team.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many coaches do you currently have with Wingman?
17.
Like 17 coaches. Got it. And so within those 17, there's someone who would take on this project?
That's correct. We would interview internally for that. That's correct.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we create position scorecard, set expectations. You're a landmark area, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm sure you've heard the definition that upset is simply when there's an unmet expectation.
Yep.
Right, so that's what we love. We literally like to write it all out, like there's the accountability and this is how the accountability is measured, right? So there's no ambiguity. There's no story around whether or not the person's doing what we think they should be doing. Right, the person knows exactly what they need to do to be what we call an A player, and you know that you're getting what you're paying for.
Yep.
Right. So we do that. So create position scorecard, set expectations, and then sign off on it. Then we as Wingman will interview. And it'll be not like an insane interview process, but it's fairly thorough. We'll interview internally for the position. And which I like to add as a value add to you, David, is I actually invite you to participate or listen in to the final interview so that you can ask whatever questions you want to ask to this person. Not saying you're trusting that person with your reputation, right, when they get on the phone with your people. So I want you to be able to feel like you get a sense for who that person is and all of that, and you're able to ask whatever questions you need to ask. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Does that sound like it would be something that would be valuable to you?
That'd be great.
Okay. Outstanding. So yeah, so we'll do that. And then what we'll need from you, David, is we call a one-pager. For all your offers. And basically what that is, it's features and benefits of your offer. Right, one side of the piece of paper, on one piece of paper, on one side it says all the features, on the other side it says the benefits in bullet form. And by the way, this is something that's going to be valuable to you because you're going to need this anyways for your event. Suzanne Evans is going to ask you for this. Mm-hmm. And so one pager for all your offers. I would say your 25K offer, your 10K offer, your 2K offer, and obviously your one pager for your event, right? So the coaches need to effectively communicate the value and the benefits of them committing to attending. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Any questions about that?
Nope.
Cool. Who's your tech guy? Who handles like your Infusionsoft and all that stuff? Is it you guys internally? Or do you have a
Carol does it.
Carol, yeah. So the one thing we'll have to work out here is how we want to manage tech integration. The simplest thing would be just to have our team member, once they've interviewed and we've signed off on them, to give them user access to your Infusionsoft account.
Makes sense.
I mean, we can do the full like technology integration, all that stuff, but honestly, I think it's too early right now. Mm-hmm. I don't think when we're at like hundreds of leads at a time, like coming in daily, that's when we want to have the automated integration stuff in place. But for right now, it could be just as simple as give access to Infusionsoft access to selected coach, and I'll put coach or coaches depending on the approach we take. And then within Infusionsoft, do you already have your merchant account set up?
Yes.
So they can process payment inside of there, correct?
I believe, well, they can go to the landing pages that we've set up, the checkout pages.
Okay, so if the coach goes to the checkout page and then is on the phone with the client and then types in their credit card info and all that stuff, hit enter, it won't cause any issues, correct?
I don't believe so. We'd have to double check with Carol, but I believe that's the way we're doing it now.
Yeah, I would double check that because when we did that with EMP, there was some kind of cookie issue that would happen, and sometimes the wrong affiliate would get tagged for it. Like sometimes the coach would accidentally get like the quote unquote affiliate credit just because of the way the cookies were set up. So just something to just take a look at to make sure that. So I would just say verify checkout process works for phone coach.
Okay.
And let's see. And I know you want to provide, and I think it's definitely important. Once we get the one pagers, we'll set up like similar to today's call, 1 hour, maybe 90 minutes to just go through them and have you explain the offer, and have the coaches ask questions, like a little Q&A on the offers, and so you feel that they can effectively communicate.
Great.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Yeah, I think that's basically it, man. Nothing else is coming to mind for me. This is about the same action steps that I have for the other client. Is there anything that you see that might be missing there?
I mean, we might need something around. So new leads are going to come in over time. So we need I don't know, for lack of a better word, like we need a leads integration process for new leads to the coach. In other words, I don't know if they're pulling them out of Infusionsoft. I don't know if we're sending weekly updates. Obviously, when we first start, we're going to go, here are the leads. But then on an ongoing basis, new leads are coming in. So I just don't know technically how that works.
Yeah. Well, I think what we'll do was perfect. What we do with our existing client is we just have a list inside of Infusionsoft and basically integrate all these different lead sources into that list, and then the coaches works that one list.
Got it. Great. Yeah, and Carol's really good about figuring out what we need to do on our end to make that process work.
Yeah. That way, say coach logs in, they go to one list, and all they got to do is just keep working that list from top to bottom.
So if we look at this, I have a sense of the time required on the responsibilities that are ours, like getting you a one-pager, listening in on an interview, reviewing an agreement you might send me. Then there's some, potential back and forth with the agreement. Giving someone access to Infusionsoft, doing the technical things on our end. What I don't know is how long it takes you to go through creating the positioning scorecard and finding someone internally, and then their process of whatever they need to go through on their end to train around the product, the benefits, the features, and so on and so forth by the time they get on the phone. So when you look at all of this based on your past experience, and I don't know how your travel schedule impacts this, what realistically, how far would we be out if we started moving on all of this?
Yeah, great question. So the position scorecard, by and large, I can just take from it's almost an identical role as it's already being fulfilled for our other client.
Yeah.
So more or less a copy and paste, maybe a couple adjustments. I'll basically go through it with you to make sure that everything's on there that you want. Right. So that honestly, that just reviewing the position scorecard, that should only take about 10, 15 minutes with you.
Yeah.
Because it's already done. And it's just for you to say, okay, I like this, or I think we should add this. It's pretty straightforward. Then I will internally go to the team and say, hey, we have this position. Who wants to apply for it? The application process on my end should take probably a grand total of maybe an hour and a half per candidate. And I anticipate, maybe 2 or 3 people wanting to apply for it at the very most. And I can do that, pretty quickly. This week. I can get that done this week. And basically, the final interview is what's called the top grading interview. And the top grading interview is 1 hour long. And it's really the majority of this interview process, 1 hour long. And I have a set series of questions that I ask them. And it takes them from high school years up to present day. And basically all you do is just sit there and just observe and take notes and ask any questions you feel like asking. Throughout the process, it's pretty straightforward. I can definitely I think I can do that this week. I would say next week at the very latest. My goal, so from a timeline perspective, if we want to roll with this, my goal would be to have this live by the 20th, because I'm leaving to India and China for 2 weeks on the 22nd. So I definitely like the idea of getting this done in the next 10 days.
Mm-hmm. Got it. On the model we did with the 400 leads,
Huh?
I'm trying to understand, Rudy, how much we're really going to need to invest on a monthly basis, because we're not really looking at someone necessarily who is 20 hours a week. We're looking at someone to go through the leads that we have, correct?
That's right.
And then once you go through, so to go through 1,000 leads, by the time you have 25% of them that aren't any good, and you actually contact the people who you end up contacting, and you go through all the cycles, I'm trying to figure out like what the investment is to effectively touch 1,000 leads. And I don't know how to think about it, because obviously you're making multiple calls to some leads over time. I don't know when the lead becomes dead. You've got some people, is there a follow-up process here with some people who say, I'm interested, but I'm not ready to do it right now. Do we reschedule a call with them? Just from a budgeting standpoint, I'm trying to understand like what's our investment. I know what the potential return is on this model, which is, $8,000.
Yeah, we're being very conservative on that.
And I'm clear on that too.
Worst case scenario, yeah.
But I'm just trying to say, if we didn't close anything, and I gave you 1,000 leads, and we executed on this strategy, and you closed some people into tickets, and we never sold anything on a secondary coaching call, it's the worst case scenario, right?
Worst case scenario, yeah.
Yeah, like how much am I all in over the next, and really it's probably not 90 days, it's probably 70 days, because we're not going to be selling right up until the event, right? At some point we have to cut it off and go, well, doesn't make sense to try to get ticket deposits, probably 2 weeks before the event. And then you've got the holiday as well. You've got Christmas and Thanksgiving during this period of time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to get a sense, when I go back and huddle with Carol and say, listen, this is what I talked about with Rudy. This is what our investment looks like. This is what the return could look like. I don't have a sense for that yet.
Got it. Yeah. So what your question is, approximately what is an investment to work 1,000 leads effectively?
Yeah.
Yeah, great question. Great question. So 1,000 leads. Again, we just went back to the model of pay. It was 100 outbound calls a day. By the way, you're not paying for the outbound calls. You're only paying on the talk time. Let's just say 20 conversations per day over 15 days. What does that come out to? Let's just say.
You had 300 conversations.
Yeah, let's just say 300 conversations from those 1,000 leads happen.
Right.
Which is
in 15 days is about 3/4 of a month, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So and when you calculate your talk time, I'll let you do your thing. So I shouldn't have interjected because you're working through your process.
That's okay. Yeah, so let's just call it like we said, about 20 conversations per day. For 15 days, that's roughly, what is that?
And were you suggesting that when you have 20 conversations a day, that you're actually only spending half the time on the phone?
No, so it's 100 let's just say on average of 100 outbound calls per day.
Yep.
Right. You're not paying for the outbound calls, right? So if somebody's dialing for an hour, typically they're actually on the phone with someone for less than 30 minutes.
And you're estimating that about half the time is spent dialing versus on the phone.
That's right.
So when you have So when you have 20 conversations a day, those 20 conversations actually only consume half the day.
That's correct.
Okay.
On average, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Let's just run some simple math. So let's just say
that would be great.
yeah, let's just say every conversation on average is about 15 minutes. I would say 10. Let's just say call it 10 minutes. So every conversation is about 10 minutes. So it's 20 times 10. It's about 200 minutes of talk time per day. So that's just times 1.25, roughly $250 a day. Let's call it for 15 days times 15, roughly $37.50 to effectively work a list of 1,000 people is my swag, simple math.
If your simple math holds up, then the numbers are good. In terms of our, what I had made up in my head based off of almost no real data or facts. Okay, great. And then after those 15 days, as you've kind of worked through these leads, is there any continual working of those leads?
Yeah, so that you'll get to decide if. So some people, they have a philosophy that they just want their person to make a decision, yes or no, and they don't like people. And some people are the philosophy that keep following up until they tell you to stop following up. Right? I've worked with both types of people. I'm open to both. Right? It'll really be your choice. It's your investment. So you can choose, hey, I want your phone team to work follow-ups, or you can say, hey, I just want your phone team to do one touch per lead and get them to a yes or no.
Okay. And you did mention that for those people where a callback was appropriate, we would schedule a callback.
That's correct. And as long as you, as the business owner, that's what you want. If you want our team to do callbacks and follow-ups, or if you just want our team to do one touch call, like decide on that call.
If we can't get someone to make any type of move on the first call, but they seem interested and engaged, I like the idea of establishing a contract with them that, great, how much time would you need to make the decision? And, tying that into almost like a light coaching process, right? I mean, ultimately, if we're going to create change in our life, however it's positioned, but basically to say, great, it doesn't necessarily have to be scheduled at 2 p.m. on such and such day, but great. So it's 5 days is what you need to take a look at whatever you need to look at, or to get online and make the thing. Are you okay with me calling and following up with you in 5 days and seeing if there's any additional support you need? I think something like that would be beneficial. But I also look to you guys as the experts to say, hey, Dave, if it was my business, this is what I would do. Gotcha.
Yeah. So my recommendation would be to. That's a good question, David. I don't know if I don't have enough background of the customer and your business to really make it the most educated decision on this. I would say, yeah, I would say yes. Authorize follow-up. Authorize follow-up for these conversations, because we're so far out that circumstances would change for people over the course of 30 to 60 days.
Yeah. And obviously, I assume our guys are trained to not get stuck on a phone call with someone talking about, their sick cat very long.
Exactly. No. Our team is very, very effective. And again, all calls are recorded and monitored for quality. In fact, I'll give you the ability to listen in to the conversations.
Okay. I mean, I have time, but it's a good, between Carol and I, we could pop in every once in a while.
Right. So also, we'll be providing performance metrics daily.
Great.
Exactly. Every day, and then a weekly report.
Great. Another question, Rudy, is do you have any sense, and I know it depends on the clients, but of the prospects, but if we're doing 300 conversations out of 1,000 leads, do you have an expectation of how many of those people we get to move into a $197 refundable ticket?
So the short answer is I don't have an experience, so I can't go off of an experience, David.
Okay.
so I can give you my hallucination, but it's not an experience because I haven't just done this just to sell a $200 ticket.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my hallucination if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
All right. So off of 300 conversations, my hallucination is that we'll get, I'm being really conservative here again, 5 say yes, I want to come to the event and pay the deposit.
Say that again. You cut out on me.
I would say about 10%.
10%.
Yeah.
Knowing that they have to book a flight, book a hotel room.
Yeah, I would say it's somewhere between 5 to 10. I mean, we're going to play for 10 at least as a standard.
Yeah.
Right. But I would say, and again, I know the lead sources vary. Some of the buyers are going to be more likely. But I'll say 5 to 10% is what I'm putting out there as my hallucination. Again, it's not based off an experience. It's just based off of my intuition.
Right. Of the meaningful conversations.
Of the meaningful conversation. That's correct.
Okay.
Here, David, I just want to share something because
yeah,
you're going to have Suzanne Evans there on your team doing the coaching zones, and then you'll make an offer from stage. So I don't know how effective Suzanne. I know she's effective because we learned from her. I don't know exactly what her numbers will be, but I can tell you from experience that the average value per attendee was very high because of the coaching zone. We ended up tripling sales from the year prior, specifically because of the coaching zone innovation. So, also, and maybe it's too early to really work out this math, and maybe something to think about is trying to calculate and just having a conversation with Suzanne, like, hey, Suzanne, on average, what conversions can we expect from the coaching zone? And what's the average transaction value that you're thinking? So you can kind of start to calculate what is the value of every attendee for you.
Yeah, no, that's great. I do have an idea of that. Just so you know, with Suzanne coming and actually coaching me on my pitch and doing everything and taking over everything, they take a percentage of all sales, right? You can hire them to just do the coaching zone as well. On this first event, because we really want to watch how they do it. It's like a total takeover where, their coaches are moving into the room during some of the breaks and following up with people within the room. So they're like very active within the whole event. So that's one thing I just want you to understand is that there are two options: just have the coaches sit in the coaching zone and pay them, 30% of what they close, or pay 30% of the whole event, and they literally run the event.
Got it. Cool.
Okay, so we went with what she affectionately calls hostile takeover. So we're going with we're going with hostile takeover for this first year, and maybe after that we'll back into just a coaching zone with you guys or with them or with whoever. She expects that we should close on the very, very, very low end 15%. She would like to see us more in the 20 to 25% range. So, for disaster planning, we go with 15. For conservative, we go with 20. And we're going with the $25,000 program. So if we backed into it, that would mean that, 10 people are 2.5 sales, and the 2.5 sales end up being $62,500. So that means each individual is worth $6,250 if I'm doing the math right in my head.
I'm just going to run that math again out loud. Let's just
10 people, 25% close rate. So you've got 2.5 sales at 50,000. Sorry, at 25,000 each.
Let's run 15%. Let's run like doomsday scenario. So doomsday, 10 people, 1.5.
Which would be 37,500, not including down sales.
Right, so that would be 37,500.
Yeah. Keep in mind, I'm giving 25% of that back to her.
Right.
It's actually 37,500. Oh, you're saying the individual value? Yep.
Oh wait. Okay, so 37,500 total sales, right? Yeah. So let's do that by 10, which would be.
Yeah.
So it's on average 3,750. revenue per, and now it's not per attendee, it's per, what's the language? It's buyer unit.
Per buyer unit.
Right, because you could have 2 attendees, husband and wife, but it's one household, so one account for just one buyer unit.
Yeah.
The profit will be, let's just go straight profit. Profit is 75% of that, so $3,750 times 0.75 is $2,812.50. $2,812.50. That's your profit.
And within that, we have cost of fulfillment, right? If we've got coaching with that, then we've got a wingman cost of coaching, so on and so forth.
That's right. So that's unknown at the moment, then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just be super conservative. Let's be ultra conservative. Let's just say your cost of fulfillment is 50% of that. I'm being super over the top.
Yeah, it would be super over the top. Yeah.
We'll just say call it $1,400.
Okay.
So $1,400 is your average profit per buyer unit after paying fulfillment. So after all expenses. Cool. So now you know we also have to take into account the cost of the event, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
you're fine with that in your 50% right now, so.
Okay, you think we're fine with that with 50%?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll go with that. So let's just say conservatively, you're able to, your acquisition cost for a buyer unit into your event is about $1,400 to break even.
Yeah.
Right. Not what you want to do. So actually, let's go ahead and create your profit margin and say what your outcome is. So let's just say you run the event and you want to have X profitability for the event. What's that X for you?
Like, what's the absolute dollar amount?
Yeah, like take home profit for the
500,000.
Okay, so 500,000. That's like your net.
Actually, I hadn't considered the cost of fulfillment, so this will probably be slightly inflated when we back into the numbers based off of what we just did.
Okay.
It's going to put us in the like 330 person range. So, if after we paid out fulfillment on everything, which you've already taken care of, now you could drop it to 400 for our first event. That would be great. If we walked away with 400,000 after paying out Suzanne and after paying out the cost of fulfillment for coaching and after paying out the cost of the event, and paying out the cost of fulfillment of the secondary events, which I still think is contained within your 50%.
Yeah.
Then we would be happy with that first event.
Got it. So just thinking out loud here. So we conservatively, the value of every buyer unit at your event is $1,400 conservatively. That's taking into account all costs. And your goal is 400,000 total profit. Let's just say your target. Let's say your target is. I'm going conservative. Your standard is 200 buyer units. So we're at 200 buyer units. So 200 times 1,400. 280,000 if you hit your standard.
Yeah, about 300K.
That sound about right to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, granted, this is not this number. I just ran it. We're not taking into account the cost of acquisition for the lead into the event yet. I just wanted to see what that played out to. But it's up to you, right? At $1,400 profit per buyer unit, if you hit your standard goal, 200, you're going to come out with about 300,000, 280,000 in profit after you pay Suzanne, after you pay the event team, after you pay
on a 15% conversion, right?
Yeah, on a 15% conversion, like worst case scenario, and all fronts.
Yep. That's about in line with the projections I made.
Cool. So then it really comes down to you, man. It comes down to how much of this, right, are you willing to invest in getting that person to show up?
Right.
Right. So how, if you just reverse engineer, how much is every registration to the event worth to me if I know everyone that shows up on average is worth $1,400, or every buyer unit that shows up is worth about $1,400.
Well, the numbers that we're looking at is that we're going to spend, again, we still need to understand the front end spiff. But if we didn't have the front end spiff, we'd be spending $3,750, right, to work a list of 1,000 people. And if we converted 10% of those, it would be 30, and 5% would be 15. So on the low end, if we spent, $4K for 15 people, we're spending about $400 per person of that $1,400 profit. What I'd like to do, obviously, is see that those numbers go to 10%, because then we're only spending $200 of that $1,400 profit.
That's right.
Now, at the same time, we're going to be registering a lot of other people just directly too. So, we've already got 60 people registered for those. We don't have a cost of acquisition through Wingman.
Sorry, was that a question? Or was it a statement?
It's a statement, yeah.
But you don't know what the cost of acquisition is.
No, I said we don't have. We wouldn't have. Right? You're going to have. There's no cost of acquisition from phone sales to the 60 people that we've already acquired. And we're going to acquire another 40, 50, 60 people more who actually buy a product, and then they get the email that says redeem your ticket, and they do. So when you look at the composition of the attendees at our event, not all of them will have a cost of acquisition, at least through Wingman, right, that eats into that $1,400 profit per buyer.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, now I get where you're coming from. Yeah, so not all of your registrations are from Wingman. That's correct.
Yeah. Cool. Well, anything else? Any other questions you have at the moment? I mean, thanks for walking me through that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, let me ask you, what have you found most valuable about our time together so far today?
What have I found most valuable? Well, I think I'm absolutely clear on the model that we're looking at and what the cost of investment is. I appreciate that your approach is very methodical, and it helps lend to my trusting into the partnership if that's something we move forward on. It's not necessarily what I found the most valuable, but what I feel is that you have our success and best interest in mind, which I really appreciate. And my sense is that there's a great long-term opportunity here. It's just figuring out how you guys can support us in this shorter-term sprint, so that we can be successful moving into the aftermath of the event. And then there's a tremendous amount of opportunity from there.
Outstanding.
And the one thing we didn't also talk about was, although I have some insight based on how you've told me we would prepare the appointment center and the coaches for the secondary call and your internal process, but we're going to want to set up another phone call to talk about what we need to do between now and February 1st to get a couple of coaches trained to fulfill on the back end for us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But we could probably, assuming we don't need a 2 or 3 month lead time for that, we can probably wait on that until you get back.
Yeah, I agree completely. That we can do that after India.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Big thing is, let's figure out what we need to do to be able to get you, get our guys on the phones with your guys so you can take advantage of this 90-day pre-event cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we may actually have far better conversions than what we're looking at too. We had when I spoke at Angelique Ruer's event we sold 37 units. And in our girl doing the follow-up process and through the autoresponders, 24 people redeemed their tickets.
That's insane.
Yeah. So again, they're not all those leads are not all like those leads, but
Yeah.
Rudy, what is the next step? Is the next step to look at a service agreement?
That's correct. Yeah, that would be the next step.
Okay. And do you think you have any room to work with us on the $1.25 or on the percentage of the spiff on the front end?
Yeah, brother. Well, you know, my commitment is that you win your game in life. You have an outstanding, amazing event, and you impact as many lives as you can possibly impact with the gifts that God's given you.
Thank you. That's awesome. I love that.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, I would love to see an agreement. And then I'm going to follow up with Carol this afternoon and share with her everything that we talked about. And that way, if I come up with any other questions, I can let you know.
Yeah, would it be valuable for you to share this Evernote with you so you can recap all of our numbers and our notes and everything? And
that'd be great.
You have it all in hand? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, I'm completely open to whatever we can do to help you win, man.
Great. So yeah, if you could share that with me, and if you could send over a draft of an agreement, I think that would be a good place to move from, with the idea that we're trying to knock this out before you leave. Absolutely.
So one more thing. So I will do that. Let me write that down as an actionable item. So the request is send over draft of service agreement. And I'll get that over to you by today, no later than 9 p.m. My time. I do have a full calendar today, but I'm going to look to get it in through my day. Actually, just to be probably better integrity, I'm going to request for by noon tomorrow, just because I'm trying to force it in today. So, but I'll play to get it over to you today.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, so what I would like to do is actually, since we're on talking right now, let's just go ahead and put it on the calendar now to just a quick little, 20, 30-minute conversation, just to review the agreement, ask any questions that need to be asked, make any modifications that need to be made, and then we can just move forward from there. That way we both have this week. Does that work for you?
Yeah. When is that going to be for?
Let me take a look at my calendar right now. So I'm assuming I can get it over to you by about this time tomorrow. How much time will you think you'll need to review the agreement?
Tomorrow I'm traveling to Santa Barbara. I'm speaking Wednesday at an event. I could review the agreement on the flight tomorrow, and we could probably touch it in the evening.
Okay, tomorrow evening?
Yeah, let me see what time I land.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so how's 4 p.m. Pacific tomorrow?
4 p.m. Pacific will be 5 p.m. Mountain. That should be perfectly fine. I'm clear for that.
Great. And you want to send me a link for Google?
Yeah, I'll send you a calendar invite. Let's see. David, you. And we'll just call it 30 minutes. And I'll get that over to you right now. And that's going to be you want dbeyer@databank.com, or do you want David?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the data bank is fine.
Okay. I'll get Joshua on that one as well. And in that service agreement, would you also like for us to include our proposal for having one of our financing members there and what that would look like?
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay, sounds good. I'll do that.
You might want to make it a separate agreement though.
Okay, we could do that. We'll make it a separate agreement. So
Great.
in this service agreement, specifically just what it looks like for the pre-event type of work.
Yeah, I think that's the priority.
Okay, got it. We'll do that.
Awesome, Rudy. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, David. Hey, it was great connecting with you this morning. Really, really great to hear what you're up to, man. And sounds like it's going to be an incredible event.
Yeah, it is. And thanks for taking the time to go through this in detail with me. I really appreciate it.
You're absolutely welcome, man. So I'll send you this Evernote link right away, and you got the recording. If you can listen to it between now and then, it'd be great. Just so you can ask us questions about that as well on our next call.
Great.
Completely invite that. Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. Have a great day.
You as well.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.